What's up, guys? It's Crystal Lapizzo, and today we're back with the Rogue's Voice. I went back and got so basically, this is where we left off. And I feel as though I sound so boring, so I'm going to try and add some more expression. Information is valuable to you think. Not to mention some friendly conversations with a pair of camellia strangers will be a welcome diversion. You ladies mind if I sit a moment and ask you about your fair city, you ask. K-Train motions to a chair. Sit, but not too close. We are married women, and no city is too large for gossip. And you are more handsome than most, says Rohisia with a sweet smile that makes your heart beat faster. You smile big and bow. Katrin gives Rohisia a hard look. Sorry. Turning a shade of red, Rohisia stares down at the table. These are words you must say and words you keep. She mutters this to herself, as if she is familiar with the astonishment. For her, wine muddles them together. Says, Katrine, shaking her head. What do you do? Flirt or stay gentlemanly? I am going to say stay gentlemanly because I don't want them to get mad with me. Wine does the same for me, you say, mustering your most kind voice and a polite smile. What shall we tell you of our city, says Rohisia. A path to some coin would be a start, you'd say. The mining guild is the largest employer. An easy and rapid path to coin. She laughs and seeing that you're serious, thinks for a moment. If you can swing a sword, join the Duke's men. They're always skimming and bullying the outer circle. The authorities here are little better than a thieves' guild, whispers Rohisia. My husband, he supplies the farmers in the area and manure, says Katrine, laughing. Her men supplies horse manure, scooped from the city streets. He does not scoop it himself, says Rohisia, looking pointedly at her companion. His guild provides a service to the city while increasing the harvest of our local farmers. Gets paid by both the Duke's treasury and farmers, says Katrine with a laugh. Who knew what came out at the end of a horse could be so profitable? Roja lowers her face to whisper, we pay for a tax to the city guard. For protection. She makes a sour face. And protection you get, not just from the Duke's men, but from any other guild who wants to join them in your business. Remember the Sweepers Guild? More than one of them got their skull cracked when... The point is that the only real law here is the edge of a sword, says Rohisia, interrupting Katrine. If you wish to do business, make the right friends. True here and everywhere else. The trick is to make the coin make friends in the first place. Well, you can talk to her. Katrine tilting her head towards the long, cloaked woman across the inn. She fancies herself a sorcerer as such. I heard she's looking to form a party to risk her life for loot. She wants to go down into the... Rohesia hunches down the table, whispers. Sewers. She makes a face to hunt down whatever monsters are down there. A party was formed one moon ago. One of the Duke's men and several desperate rabble, said Katrine. A young farmer with a pitchfork was the only one to make it out alive. A pitchfork? Said it gave it the reach he needed to keep the vermin in bay. She shrugs. In any case, that doomed the expedition and encouraged any more adventurers, except for her. It's no wonder, Rohesia said, hunching down further down the table. Do you know what is said about her? Rohesia, don't... That she raised the dead. Gods. Like a zombie? Her cat, says Rohesia eyed-wide. Her cat. You say, blinking. Do you jest? To raise an animal, even a beloved pet, is illegal, says Katrine. Necromancy. So why is she not in the dungeon or her head? Because it's only a rumor. She shakes her head at her friend. There are words that you say and words you keep. Rohesia smiles sheepishly at her friend. The three of you are huddled together at a table. Just through noticing this, Katrine sits back at her chair and motions to serving wrench, a pair of coins in her fingers. Dragon, my friend, and I have enjoyed our talk with you, but it's time for you to leave. It will not do to be seen cavorting with strangers. People talk, you say, easily, and give them a wink. You get to your feet, take a final blow, and hurry over to the table of the soccer. If the sorcerer is connected to the local guard, then she may know a thing or two, but she could also be dangerous to a man like you. Be polite, you remind yourself. If she doesn't want to talk, show respect. You place a hand on her table and put on your most sincere smile as you say loudly enough to catch her attention. You look like you have a lot on your mind. She looks up, and her scowling lips draw into a firm line. She has large dark eyes. They rove over you. Sizing me up, you think. Do you mind if I sit, you ask, motioning to the chair across from her, the one the soldier has been sitting in. She pauses. Her eyes lock onto yours in a way that makes a shiver run down your spine. She smiles back, but it's a fake smile, but it's polite. She nods. You take a seat. I am Dragon. Her eyebrows raised. You go by the name Dragon. Isn't that a bit self-aggrandizing? What is she on about, you wonder? Very well. You can call me... Call me the Red Dragon, you say. Her jaw slops and her eyes narrow. So you like the idea of being specifically associated with the most evil and greedy of dragons. Is it? If you want to gain any trust in this world, you best not name yourself after creatures that burn villages and eat women and children. They eat men too, you say, without thinking. She has an incredulous look. Of course, the red variety kills for the sport of it. You shrug. Well, you are obviously not impressed by fearsome names. Just call me the Rooster, then. Ha! That's the name that I suspect strikes the mark. She wipes away your smile. Do you always give false names when you speak to strangers? Why does this woman have you put off balance? She puts up a hand and smiles. She has a nice and straight teeth. Well met, Rooster. I'm Kriya. You relax in your seat. What can I do for you, Rooster? You're impressed that she actually said your new name with a straight face. How do you answer her? You could tell her you're new in the city and would like to talk to a local. Another option was to be flirt. She might be attractive with a little paint on the face and a proper dress, or you could pass yourself off as a mysterious. Maybe make her guess. I'm going to be mysterious. I'm a stranger here. On a quest, a noble quest. I could use some information from a local. You say, what kind of quest? Oh, I cannot say. It would not be right to say. Well, if you will not share with me, how do you expect me to share with you? For all I know, you are here on the behalf of a demon lord or a great dragon Silvact. Although that would be hard to imagine in your case. Hard to imagine in my case. Is there something about my dress or manner that should suggest I could not be in service to a dark power? I would not be speaking to you otherwise. Consider it a good thing to not be taken as an agent to the evil. And if you are, bravo to you on your disguise. You frown and fidget, thinking of what next to say. Rooster. Here's a piece of advice from a local. We prefer to be spoken plainly. You take a deep breath. Very well. I'm not here on a quest. Well, outside of my quest to gain a roof over my head and regular bread and med. A quest shared by many. And so my desire is the same as before, which is... I'm new to the city, and I was hoping I could find a local to tell me a bit about my new home. So you're just not passing through, then? No, I mean to stay a while. Why do you look so surprised? I haven't seen you before, and your manner of speaking, your accent says you're from the mountains. I have an accent? It's so slight that most people wouldn't notice it. I study people. You shrug. You would rather not talk about where you're from. This could lead to other questions. To be honest, I don't know anyone in Marine City. I'm looking for an occupation. You don't look like the sort who would work in the mines. I don't look strong enough. You appear healthy, and the gods have gifted you with some height and frame, but there are no calluses on your hands. You don't make coin with hard labor. I'd rather do it with my courage and wits, you say. They call Marine City a place for adventure. Ha! Really? Is that what you are? An adventurer? You nod. Where are your weapons and armor? I sold it all to get here. Kriya suddenly sits back in her chair. Her cloak opens slightly and you catch a glimpse of what looks like fur in her inner pocket. Stranger, I'm getting weary of lies. Noticing where your eyes have strayed, she closes her cloak. Lies? Half-truths, perhaps. I cannot say, but let me be plain. I heard you may have a job for an adventurer. She chants in a slow, low voice and then slaps the table sharply. What did you say? What was that language? Kriya studies for a moment and then says, I saw you like card games. How about we play a game? If you answer a question of mine truthfully, then I'll answer one of yours. Very well. She spits onto your hand and holds it out to you. Spit it and shake. She chants something against that low voice. All right. I will ask first, she said with a satisfied smile. I do not care about your real name, but if I am to do a business with a man, I want to know whom he's running from. I'm not whom are you running from? Your thoughts spill, and your words begin to spill in a torrential whisper. My family is one of the highly skilled gamblers and expert thieves. Almost a year ago, my father stole from the wrong man, a man with connections to Rudair. The house murdered my mother. They sold my father to the Wallington's army. When he fell in battle, they sold me into the army, and now I carry his debt. I am to pay 10 gold by the sunset of each new moon. You pause as you fight your compulsion to speak. God, she has bewitched me, you think. Pain flashes to your mind, must finish. Lord Wallington cut wages for his soldiers, and there is no plunder to be had. I had fear I wouldn't be able to make my payments for long. When I don't, they promise a rack, torture, and a slow and miserable death, and that my sister will be sold to the slavers. You pause again, fighting your enchantment, but you cannot. I deserted. I had no choice, so I'm also running from Lord Wallington's bounty hunters. The fist around your mind loosens. Curse you! You're a witch! You peer around the inn, afraid that your relatives have ruined your chance to glean money here. Thankfully, no one seems to be paying attention to you. And you are a thief and renegade. Her voice has no malice. In fact, it sounds kind. Now, per agreement, you may ask a question of me. But you won't be forced to comply as I was, will you? But I will, she says quickly. That's the way of magic sometimes, and it gives and it takes. So now that I've answered your question, I will ask another. What value will you bring to my adventuring party? You gape in outrage when the words start streaming of their own accord. I am a good scout. I can move quietly and unseen when it pleases me. I have modest skills of picking pockets and locks. I have been trained with a few weapons and understand battle tactics. Better that time, you think. At least you didn't go on with your blabbing. However, you're unhappy with your use of the term modest skill. Truth is often cruel. Kriya nods. Hoping to avoid spilling more uncomfortable secrets, you straighten your cloak and say, it's time for me to go. But you get to ask me another question, she insists. But ask quickly, the spell only lasts so long. Well, she already pulled one of your most pressing secrets out of you straight away. Perhaps now it's time to learn something from her. Several options come to you. First question was to find out whether or not you could trust her. You certainly like to know if she's an evil witch. You desperately curious whether she was raised to the dead as Rohesia claimed. It might be more practical to ask what she brings to the adventure party. Is she a powerful wizard? What do you ask? You're not sure how many truthful answers you're going to get with the spell, so you decide to go straight with what matters. If I can adventure with you, can I trust you? Are you an evil witch? I will not betray anyone who conducts themselves honorably. The word honorary is a slippery word, you say. According to whose honor? Another question. It is my turn, and I will ask along the same lines. Can I trust you? Yes. You say automatically, and the answer surprises you. So as long as I trust you, that you are a friend to me, and I have never betrayed a friend. She stares at you for some time and nods. My turn, you say. You give Kriya your most evil grin. Is it true that you raised the dead? She scowls and hesitates. She bites her lip and finally says in a whisper, Yes. I raised my familiar, a raven named Mighty Beak. A raven, not a cat. Haha, I'm not surprised that that's what you heard. They think witch and then think cat. In any case, it did not work out. Once he was raised, he was nearly mindless and constantly hungry for flesh. Far worse when he was alive. The poor thing could not even fly anymore. I destroyed it the same night. Your spell does compel her to speak the truth, you think, unless she's being clever. What do you think of rats? Rats. You pause. You feel no compulsion to your answer. A few seconds, you smile triumphantly. Evidently, your spell has lost its potency. I shall decline to answer your question. Kira frowns and opens her cloak and digs around for a moment. She then throws the furry animal onto the table with a long naked tail. Rat, you gasp as you tilt your chair away. It lies limply in front of you. Its eyes are closed and its mouth are frozen open, revealing yellowish incisors. I presume you do not care for them, said Kira with a chuckle. Who? Who carries around a dead rat? You look around you and Creation is staring at the table, her face contorted with disgust. Put it away! Kriya continues to smile as she carefully lifts the dead rodent off the table and stuffs it in her cloak. Maurice is my most recent familiar. Her smiling face, trampled by a horse, broke his back. Poor dear. I think it's time I take my leave, you take scoot in your chair. And what of House Vroda? Even if you have your payment by sundown tonight, what about the next moon? I think I'll manage. He's standing there. Stop at no expense. They hire the best drivers in the kingdom to scribe for debitors. They have a reputation, you agree. Just then, the door to the inn jangles open and you look at Rohesia and Katrin leaving the inn. Rohesia glances back as the door shuts behind them. Never mind her, Kriya says in a soft voice, nodding at the door. She just needs to get back at her wealthy husband anyway. You turn to Kriya. She motions to your chair. People like you and I must have our own way. I have a proposition for an ambitious man for yourself. It's not just for me, your sister. I know, she says with a dismissive wave of her hand. Everyone has heard the tales of how House Rudahair settles debt. You sit. If you are an adventurer who hates rats, then you and I can make some coin, she says. Does this have to do with cleaning out sewers? That was a quest in the last city I was in. It's no wonder rats are a problem in all cities, she says. The mayor is offering 2 gold for each head. The giant ones, that is. People have been going missing. People are missing? If I were the mayor, I would seek killers to walk on 2 legs, not 4. Agreed. Nevertheless, the bounty stands at 2 gold per head. That's a day's work in the mines. Instead of the mines, you have me down in a sewer. That's what Melina says. The man of Arns I spotted with you earlier? She nods. I can't seem to form a party to go down there. The captain of the guard will not commit his own troops for the sewers, either. It's disease for everyone fears, really. And it stinks. You want to tell me you want to slog about in a sewer? You let the sentence drop. A woman? She shuts her eyes, narrowing. It's unusual, you must admit. I'll have you know that I'm a wizard who can summon death to those deserving of it. Her face hardened. Like you, I could use some coin, but unlike you, I could use it for books and instruction rather than card games, drinks, and as your turn to finish your sentence, what do you say? To save my sister? She nods, but in a hint of color pale cheeks. But if you don't have to pay off the house, then I'm sure I should have not mentioned your sex. I am sure a woman can slog through any sewer as well as any man. In any case, the captain of the guard of the outer ring has promised one of his guards to come along for protection, but this guard will not get a cut of the bounty. A trained and armed guard shall provide protection, but without a share. Ignoring you, she continues. We split the bounty. 2-1, my favor, that is, if you hold up your end. The sewer is the last place you want to go in the city, but it might be a quick path to the coin. You're taught to never accept an offer at the face. The question is, you simply want to negotiate or something decline. You would decline to get her bag, of course, but you don't want to have to overplay your hand. You also don't want to be taken advantage of to become known as a fool, not on your first day in the city. What do you say? Well, I'm going to end it right here. What do you guys think I should do? Negotiate or decline? I'm going to end it right there today. And bye.